Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? So today on Carolina Mulching Machine, so we've got the 265 Cat in the shop. So 265 Cat, it's got the mulcher on it. But today we're going to be putting this guard on the back of the machine. So got this kit in from Cat. It's been here for a little while. I just haven't had time to do it. We're gonna see how hard it is to get it installed back here. It's not a winch. I know a lot of people in the comments are gonna say, why didn't you get the winch? Well, the winch kit's like $17,000. And that's just way too much money for a winch on the back of a 265. Now, you can get them in a forestry package or level, what is it, HD3 or HD2. You cat guys could correct me. But you can get it out there on one of those packages on a 275 XE. But for us, for what I do, what we do here, having a winch on the back is not necessary where we're at. We're not cutting in swamps or ponds or super muddy areas and things like that. So it's not necessary. But guarding is, because I can't tell you how many times you get shifted and you move, or there's a branch back there or a tree falls behind you or something, a branch hits or whatever it is. Having the extra guarding is nice. And the extra guarding is nice because it keeps the stuff kind of away from this kind of stuff, which I know Kat did a good job of recessing it, but it kind of pushes everything back a little bit. Apparently even we're going to be moving this camera right here, so it'll be interesting. We'll see. I think the guard is worth it, in my opinion, with all the mulching that I've done. And let's see how hard it is. Now, I will tell you, that joker's heavy. You may need to, if you're going to be doing this by yourself, you may need to either get a buddy, a box of pizza and some drinks, and get your friend to help you put it on, or like do what we're going to do. And I have access to a forklift. I'm just going to use the forklift to put it on, because I bet that door right there is 200 pounds by itself. And as long as it is, I can lift it and move it around, but lifting it that high and sticking it on, Brandon doesn't need a hernia, so we're not going to try that today. But this is not too bad. The brace right here, I should be able to manage that on there. But anyway, so let's get started. Let's see if we can get some stuff done. Right, first step was taking these two pieces off. You had to pull out the cotter pins, pull the pins, and separate the door from the frame. I got that done already. The second step is going to be, we got to open this door right here, and there is a gasket down here at the bottom, and it tells you to pull this gasket off, and we're going to have to trim it. So it says pull gasket off. So this gasket right here says pull this gasket off. We're going to have to cut it to 32.7 inches. So we got that. We'll measure it out. 30. So I don't know if they have 0.7 on a tape measure, but we can figure that out. Okay, so we do not have 32.7. So apparently we're not using this strip. And we got to cut that seal off the new one. This was not enough either. Let's see. Well, I don't know what we're going to do there, because this is not, I may have to order another piece, because it looks like someone's already cut it here before and they didn't cut the right length. So I'm not sure who did that. I bought this machine new, so maybe during PDI they didn't cut it, because this is only 30 inches. So we're down 2 inches. So it says to attach it. Doesn't fit very good. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to take these brackets and these bolts. They're going to go through these holes right here on both sides. We're going to have to stand that frame up in there. These bolts, also same thing on this side. So I'm going to set these up here just so it's easier for me. And then I'm going to manhandle this thing up there. And that fell off. This is probably gonna be hard. One person. Let's see if we can do it this way. Let's see if we can do it with the door shut. I don't know if we will. With this gasket on there. Maybe. It doesn't say either way. I assume not with this gasket on there. But I'll put that on in a second. Yeah, we can't put the gasket on there. Slide it back out. So, I guess put the door on first, or close the door. Put this on, raise it up, and then you can kind of shove the gasket on. I don't know, I'm kind of learning too. I'm just going off some notes. They don't have instructions yet for it, so. Let's see. Let me take this off. I'm trying to use the one they gave me because this one doesn't fit well. It doesn't say, it says to use the one off the. This one fits way better. But it's way shorter too. Alright, so that looks good. So now we have to stick this plate back here, and we'll stick this bolt through here and kind of line both of them up. Alright. Same thing. This one might be a little more difficult. Get your hand in there. Yeah, because there's something up over there. It does say to leave everything loose until you get kind of everything together, which, you know, generally when you put things together, that's kind of what you want to do. Wait till you get everything started before you go gun crazy on tightening everything. And the notes doesn't say anything about, you know, Loctite or anything like that. So now that we got that on, so lesson to be learned on this is close the door, put that bracket on, open the door, put the seal on. All right. We'll learn together. I've never done this before, I'll be honest. We've got these nice, so you know, you spend money on a cat when they have the money to stamp their name and all the bolts that you use. On these, it doesn't say to add any locking, you know, Loctite or anything like that. I'm going to use medium duty Loctite because, you know, this thing vibrates. I don't want any bolts falling off. I don't want the frame to come off. So I'm just going to kind of use, you know, blue Loctite or something like that to tighten the bottom ones up. You don't have to do that, but I am. If I got any. You don't have to go crazy, but just enough that'll kind of hold them. tighten these up. All right, so we got that frame in. We got that done. All right, next we've got to take out the camera on this. And because we're putting the door on there and it's going to stick out further, the camera will be just looking at the guard. So Cat thought about that, and they've got this little bracket that goes on there. Like that. Sticks up there. I guess all it does is kind of extend it out. It's got nuts on it and everything. Now we gotta set that up there. It says we gotta take the camera out, and what holds the camera in looks like little Allen heads. Gotta get these little Allen heads out, it looks like. Best I can tell. I wonder if I got enough cable there. I don't know if I do, though. It's 3mm. I thought Cat was American. No, I'm just kidding. I know how it is. I don't care which fastener system you go with. If you want to use Imperial, fine. I've got the sockets. If you want to use metric, that's fine. I got the socket. But at least pick one of them. I hate working on something that's got both. So you'll take off one half of the bracket and it's standard. And then you got to run back to your toolbox for the other half of the bracket because it's got metric on it. Just pick one. If you're going to use one, just go all the way. None of this wish-washy stuff. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. Yeah. You couldn't probably a second ago, could you? Yeah, kinda. Basically, we're taking these 4 bolts out right here. I don't know why they couldn't just use a regular nut or bolt. So I could get in there with a wrench and in 5 seconds have it off. So if the CAD engineer that designed this is watching this video, please tell me, why the hell didn't you just use a hex head bolt? Was it so that y'all could charge an extra hour of installation just for taking these 4 screws out? All right, got it, finally. All right, so camera's out of the way. See, it's 15, no, 13, 15. Now I'm getting the washers and clips off so that I can take that housing out. Now on this side it is Torx. Up close. Almost got it in the first shot. For anybody wondering, looks like it's going to be a T40. Yep, T40. All right. So now we should be able to stick this through the hole. So there's that. So we're gonna have to cut some wire ties here. So where is the connector for the camera? Well, dang. Let's see. We'll put these nuts back on. All right. You have to cut like 27 wire ties, and then you'll eventually get the harness off so that you can pull it off. Like this, just so you can do this. Which to me is a little ridiculous, but who cares about my opinion, I guess. We can cut this clamp off. This goes up like that. So We got to get some wire ties so we could put the 700 wire ties back on. But before we do that, we probably need to go inside and verify that the camera is indeed functioning correctly. Got all that done. So we should be able to close this now. And it looks pretty goofy right now with it just kind of sitting like that. So these two pins. Well, you know, I might be able to do it like this. I don't have to go crank the forklift. Let's see if we can do it this way. If we have to go get a forklift, we will. All right. Whew. I was gonna put a jack on there, but I went ahead and lifted it, and I was like, let's just try it. All right. I guess that's it, really. I guess that's it. So now all we need to do is tighten those up right here. It says to tighten those up once the door is latched. Can we do that though? The nuts? Yeah, let's set it in there. Tighten that up. And there's these cotter pins. See that? So we'll stick these back in. All right. So now, in theory, we should be able to open this up, and this will pull off, swing open. Then we can open this, get to whatever we need to get to, close this back, and then this. Looks like we have to lift it a little bit. Or do we? No, not really. It'll kind of pull it right in. And that latch is really tight. It doesn't rattle or wobble. That's pretty good. So, just like that, we saved some money. Now, I didn't say to begin with that I knew how to do this. All I got was some notes. There's no directions on this stuff because CAT wants you to, you can go to Service Data, your local CAT place, and they might be able to print you off something. Sorry, my fire scanner. You can go to your local CAT, and a guy might be able to print you something off the book, but there's no online stuff that I could find for it. There might be a publication you might be able to go into eventually. These machines are kind of newer, and some of that stuff isn't available. At least it wasn't available for me. I know CAT's changing over their system and stuff like that. So later on, there might be some actual written information on how to do this. But now, overall, not a bad job to do. Not a bad job to do, but I think they wanted to charge like 3 hours of labor. At a CAT dealership, that's $600. I mean, it took me about an hour and 20 minutes to do it. So if you're handsy and got a little bit of hand tools, I mean, I would save the money. If you want to get one of these, buy the unit and put it on yourself. All right, let's see. It does take away some of your camera view. But, I mean, I guess if you back up where you can see the tip of this black thing right there, you're getting too close to hit something anyway. It takes away a little bit, but it's not bad. It looks good, adds another level of security. So you just pull this open. And now, if you have the shut off in there, they have to cut the lock off of this, unlock this, and get in here to this. If you got it parked somewhere, let's say over the weekend or something like that. You know, and it protects all this stuff right here. I'm not a big fan of, there are some manufacturers, I think Kubota is one of them, that puts the fuel tank in the door, which I understand why they do it before ballast. But I have seen where you get those employees that it's not their machine, or you get people borrow your machine or whatever it is. It's not their machine, so they're doing stuff they shouldn't, and they back into something and damage that fuel tank, damage that door. So, anyway. Well, I'm glad y'all came along. If you liked it, think about subscribing. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.